and try to give them any support that I can give them.
I see that Professor is back, but I wanted to share this at the
Go
risk
ahead.
of my YouTube people telling me that I love to make literary analogies. One of the other things, I'm making another literary analogy to the fairy tales that pitches the stepmothers ugly and mean to children.
Yes.
One of the
Yes.
things I love about Rita is when I listen to the Marley children, whether or not they were her biological children, and the people who've worked with her, and the way that she treats everybody. All of Bob's children are treated with the same kind of grace and kindness that she treats her own. And so for me, she completely debunked that myth about the evil stepmother.
Yes. She's
And
amazing.
it's
Good point.
it's a special kind of stepmother because it's a stepmother where if you grin and bear
Yes.
artists we have whole heap of woman. But at no point have we ever heard any of these children say that she was an evil stepmother. Share them Mama Rita, whether or not they're her biological. And me have to big up Rita for that. That I find ought to be a lesson to every woman, that you know, just love your own pick, you love everybody's straight. And I think when we look at the work, one of the things I follow with her is how much work she does with women and children. The basic schools in Jamaica and in Ghana, the debate competition where the little picnic them get fit, give themselves a voice. All of those things that she facilitates through the foundation. Amazing. I really, really admire that. Nana Rita, I know you're listening, and I just want you to know that we love, we respect you, and we think you're a giant of a woman.
She's a matriarch of the family. And
I just wanted to add on to that. For one of our social media persons that are watching, Yvonne Coke says that Rita Marley made Bob Marley rise and shine. If Rita did not walk with the 45s on her head selling them, Bob Marley wouldn't be heard or known.
Yes. Well, one of the most touching things in her autobiography, which some people might find vulgar, but I think it is so basic. She says when all of the carrying on and going on and people forgetting her role, she remembers that in 9 miles, Bob had one underpants and she used to wash it every night. Those were my hands washing the one underpants. And it's such a beautiful image. You know, Colleen, the power of metaphor, because the underpants is so basic. And, you know, the idea is that despite all of the hype, she is the one who had the most intimate relationship with him, you know, and I think that that is something that must be acknowledged. I encourage everybody to read the autobiography. I wrote an essay about it, which I called it Rita Marley's Feminist Fable. You know, a fable is a story that tells you a fundamental truth about reality. And it's feminist because, you know, Rasta women sometimes don't like to claim feminism, but feminism is nothing but the power of women to acknowledge that they have a right to be seen and heard, and that the important contributions that we make in society have to be acknowledged. And at this point, I have to show my first, maybe the one and only teacher, you know, teacher's aid. This is my exhibit. I hope you can see. It's Tanya Stevens, Rough Rider.
Riding, ma. Riding.
Rough Riding. All right, you've seen it. And it's looking at Tanya Stevens and the power of music to transform society. And we can say that Rita Marley's impact has certainly been transformative. So there are so many women whose stories need to be told, you know?
Yes.
Well, Tanya, I need to get one of those.
Yeah, man. It just came out.
I'm very proud of you.
Yes, it just came out from the University of the West Indies Press. And Tanya herself has a preface in it, which is called Be Bold for Change. And that is what women have to be. We have to be bold, because sitting back, you're not going to accomplish anything. And boldness, again, is one of the attributes of Nana Rita, you know, to just be bold, to step out of Babylon and say, this is who I am. And I'm not going to let anybody determine who I should be. Okay?
And
all
may
right.
I just say something real quick? Dr.
Yes,
Cooper.
man, come in.
I just want to say before we get misconstrued as male bashing, because you know some people just have a problem digesting that we can big ourselves up without it being a detraction from the men. Let's just make this clear. It is possible to give Rita her flowers and to big her up and to talk about all of her exploits. It is possible without thinking that this is a detraction from Bob. It is not. And it is possible to big up Bob to the highest possible leverage without having to put Rita down. These things are not mutually exclusive. We can big them both up. And Rita can get all of her due. We should have never made it the case from morning. Say every time we talk about Bob, it's like you can't big up Rita too. And Rita did things on her own.
Mhm.
She have her
And
own.
Richard does believe in the balance of that alpha omega
Yeah, but
energies.
we don't have no problem putting Bob one side, especially on a day like today. Make him stay one
least
side.
for Jay.
We not put Bob
Let me
one
tell you,
side.
I am
We
one
not put him one
feminist.
side, but Rita, no, Carlin. Seriously, Rita never put him one side. So I don't think we
No
should
man,
have put him one side.
no
neither.
man, she put him one side. You remember when she leave and go to Bull Bay and said, and when she did that one next man, and Bob had the nerve to come and acquire such a man. Let me tell you, Jamaican man are reasonable, you know. Me not care who vex. Him and one woman and Rita go step out with one man and him go on over and go like, how she could not take up man? What you mean how she could take up man? She wants
Like
somebody
she
to
not
love
need
her
some
when you don't have no time for her.
Here I am searching for the rescue. Like, where's the rescue from the moderator?
No rescue.
There is none. There is none.
There is no rescue. We have to talk the truth. Yes, she go on with him and go on with him and go on with him and go on with him. But at some point she said, how long me ever go on with him? One life to go live. Bob better than
It's funny, a new song loading,
Bob better than me. But it must be
Colleen, you need to give Dr. Cooper the
I am not making up nothing.
We rely on the producer among us to do that.
It is in the autobiography. Okay, she talk it out, and this is what I love, that she speaks her own truth, despite all of the celebrity and the fame that was attached to Bob. What Rita was saying is, my story is also important.
And it is important. You know, one of the things, Prof, even when you're talking, there are going to be people who are not pleased with that statement made.
And
I've learned,
which statement? Which statement?
And one of any statement that we make, what I have said, what you've said, what Tanya may have said, what Odessa may have read from the social media.
Yes.
But the truth is, we do not expect to be everybody's cup of tea. Eh?
No.
And I remember my grandmother used to say, the moment that everyone starts liking you, get scared. That's when you get afraid.
Yes.
And it's understanding that, and it's not every day. And a lot of times we find out the very same thing they love and admire is the same thing that they will tear you down for.
Absolutely.
But I wanted to pick up on the notion of the woman fighting against woman that DJ Sunshine alluded to it, that we can be our greatest enemies. And I'm very happy that I really don't have bad relationships with women. I have great sister friends who did it for me. As old as Professor Cooper, as young as Tova, may have some good sister friend, Prof. I'm teasing you. Look fabulous.
Who you call owl?
I'm not anymore.
No, I hear you, but me a big woman.
Age is just enough. You're a big woman, and I know, and you look good. but the idea that we are sometimes hard to work with.
Yes.
But what I always rest in, me and Tanya argue before, enough to. We don't agree and we go hard at each other. Odessa, you know it is. We love each other, but we are very openly going to say how we feel. But at no point would somebody ever call to say, would you recommend Tova, Odessa, Tanya, Sunshine, and I'm gonna not recommend them or support them. So you actually don't have to live. Yeah, I'm at the museum, so things busy here. Forgive me for the noise. But the truth is, I think we need to debunk that thing with women fighting against women and see how best we can. So I want to say that I'm a part of Women in Music International. A couple of years ago, some young ladies, Joan Webley, Carice Lawrence, they came up with Women in Music Jamaica and threw it out. Most people didn't jump on because it's not sexy yet. But the truth is, there are organizations that are specifically dedicated to focusing on women, whether it's through mentorship, through training, and having access to the skill sets of other women. So Tanya can speak about Tova, she can afford you. A young girl just leaving Edna Mandy man not be able to but have a great song. But having you in a one network for women gives her that access. So I think it's important that we tap into network and we tap into each other and each other's skill set.
You make a very, very valid point, because it is one of the issues that we have as females. There is an unstated competition that I believe most women believe that they should go through. And so if one female excels, it's as though you don't think there's space enough for someone. You know, I think that is the issue. And for me, I am very open. I would love to have more attorneys even in this space, because we don't have that many, especially the females, because I'm two females tend to be a little bit more caring. So they'll sit with you and go through and understand the issues. So I think having females in certain spaces really makes a tremendous difference. So I totally agree with that.
I think what we as women need to understand is that nobody can take your crown. And we also have to realize that if you help somebody else and they turn around and that person doesn't show you that gratitude that you think that person should show you, you have already done your job.
Mm-hmm.
So in this forum that we are here, I am just meeting Tova. I didn't know that there was a lawyer in music, a female lawyer in music. And like you said, Colleen, we need to have that established where we know we can actually go to this place and get information and get help from all these women in business, because we understand and know the different fight that we all go through.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I came in, they'll say, boy, them not like brown people.
Really? You're different.
Like people because
I think they love you.
No, brown, but I didn't know I was brown until I came to Area FM. Because I don't grow up like that. My grandmother is very dark. So I didn't grow up say, and they tell you, boy, you're brown. No, I wasn't like that. So when I came now, you're going on the road and people are, talking about, I'm like, why are we talking about that? Why is that important? That is not important to me. It's who you are. And I think Prof said it before, it's your culture. Where I grew up, the neighbors used to really curse us a lot and, we're going like we're better than each other. But the fact is, I had one shoe, but the one shoe was a good pair of leather shoes.
Absolutely.
And the outfit that I had was a good, my aunt was a seamstress, so it was made well. So when we dress up and go out, we looked very well. But the neighbor now didn't like it. I said, boy, we don't talk to people and, we're going like we're better than people and red like, that was the whole thing in growing up. But like I said, that only made me stronger. That only prepared me for the battles in life. That only prepared me for the journey. And I just want to thank you all again for being here. Thank Nana Rita for bringing us together again. So I couldn't get to know you wonderful ladies. Mm-hmm. Why aren't we having more of this?
Well,
let's use this as a platform.
Absolutely. And one question I want to throw to everybody is, we'll be talking about the challenges, but what have been your major triumphs when you look back on your career, which not done yet, but up to this stage? When you look back, what have been some of the major triumphs of which you feel particularly proud? If it's even just one, can you share that with us? Let's start with you, Tova. Which big case you win?
No, I'm not even going to the cases because those come. They're a dime a dozen. But for me, when I entered the business, I had a real struggle convincing the players of the value that I brought as an attorney. And there are instances, as I said, I had to run them down, you know. This is what I need to do for you. I need to protect you. I have to run them down to protect the assets. My triumph is subtle. It is the journey that I have witnessed with a lot of these entertainers where they now seek me out to do their assessments. You know,
Excellent.
so I see that there's a shift, and I'm very happy for that shift because it has even progressed outside of now the music business to even their personal endeavors. So I am now doing their real estate matters, you know, any other business ventures that they want to go into. It has transitioned. And for me, that subtlety makes a big difference.
That's a major triumph that they now seek you. They recognize the value you bring. Adessa, anything on social media before I take the question to other people?
Yes, we have one question for Tova. In a room of 10 lawyers in music, how many are women? And this is from Reggae Women Raw.
Wow, in a room with 10 lawyers, firstly, you may have 1 out of the 10 being in music. And out of that, it may not be a female. So in Jamaica, we don't have that many persons in the industry. Maybe I can count maybe 5. I'm not sure if there are new persons now coming up that are interested. I would be very happy to know that they are, because I think the industry needs this support and this professional support. So I encourage a lot of these younger attorneys coming. I'm not so young anymore. But I definitely encourage them, come into the industry. Allow the industry to have a structure, allow the industry to be formalized, and allow us to value the black and white. Because, you know, what I find is a lot of the overseas players want to engage our product or local music, but sometimes it's difficult for them because you can't find who owns a song. And they're not going to venture into that when they know that they have possible legal battles to fight in the future. So they'll just stay away. So if we can formalize our industry a little bit more, I mean, the possibilities are endless.
I think entertainment law, as you say, really needs to be recognized as a major area of expertise. And more young lawyers, I believe, I agree with you, Tova, they need to be going in this area because it's protecting our intellectual property. And that is so important because, you know, for many of us, sometimes our intellectual property comes in like a natural resource that other people just come in and drill and go about their business, and we don't benefit. You know, we are just raw material and they get the finished product. So unless you have a good attorney looking out for your interests, you may not get what you deserve.
Exactly.
So Tanya, what is your major triumph? I mean, we know you have enough. But tell us about one in particular of which you're especially proud or happy in the
major
business.
Triumph.
In the business.
I would say, as you said, there have been many, but as far as my being female, which I consider incidental, I go into this as a beast. I don't come as neither male nor female. And I think I have managed to change some of the language. When I came into this business, girls were strictly accessories to the men. Even though there were women doing so much, it's accessories. And when a woman step out and be strong, is strong relative to men and is strong in collusion with men. It was never like, I am here as an individual, hear me roar, you know. And so the language, it took a lot of work, and most of it had to be subliminally injected into our conversation. It meant taking a lot of beatings. It meant putting the message in sex when I wasn't talking about sex at all. But I had to use the language that we are willing to digest. And I have seen it over time change in small increments, and that makes me happy. That I could come out and make an album, which is a concept album that flows from beginning to end, and see other people instead of telling people do it like this, I just did it, and then people follow.
Example.
And there have been so many ways that played out, just doing it the way I thought would be an additional way instead of giving instruction and providing a different image of woman. Because I don't dress sexy, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't dress naked, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't whine, I can't dance, I have 2 left feet, I don't think there's anything wrong with whining. But I don't believe
that.
You can't dance.
I can't whine. I cannot. All right, the thing is, not only can I not dance, I have no interest in trying, and I don't think I have to, and I don't think that performing should be one sterile, specific thing that everybody has to do it that way. If a girl come out and she don't whine, she don't have to, and if a girl come out and she want to whine, so this is ongoing, but me see the conversation a change. What me can say, stop use me as something for measure the other girls can for beat them up. Because the fact say, Caroline, one of the things where people use me as an example for is the fact that I don't dress naked. That comes out of my dysfunction. I don't want to mandate that for nobody. Me actually don't dress naked because I feel self-conscious because of experiences I've had. So that is not something I want to mandate. I am very okay with people walk off naked on the road and nobody know for trouble them. And if them feel sexy and happy, because woman comes in so many different flavors. And mine is not the way, it's our way. So I'm happy to see the conversation I get broader and more women are chime in and fight and just stand up and say, see me, I'm there, this is me. This is my version of woman and black woman. Me not have a black woman like you. Me not have a woman like you. This is me. This is my version of it. And me like said a conversation there. I progress and I'm happy to be a part of it. Me join people like Colleen and yourself, Dr. Cooper, all of you ladies who have been doing this for so long. I join the conversation. I'm happy to use my voice to help to further the conversation. I'm see it progress.
Excellent. DJ Sunshine, what do you say your triumph?
Well, I've been asked the question before, what legacy I'd like to leave, and I couldn't answer the question at the time. I know you're asking me in a different way. I've inspired someone, male or female, and I think that has been my greatest triumph.
Excellent. Yes, when you see them coming up and recognizing that this is something that them can do. Yeah.
Right.
I know how you feel. That is one of the joys of teaching too. When as a teacher, when you see students coming up and they really want to take take that knowledge and develop it up, as we would say. So, Ms. Colleen, what will you say is your major triumph as a woman in this business?
I'm acknowledging that you're my teacher.
Yes, my dear. We're proud to have a bright student like you.
I would take it because my space in industry kind of moves between music publicity and education.
Yes.
Like you, I am exceptionally honored to be at Edna Manley College. Seeing students come in with a love for music, a love for the arts generally, and watching them grow, and then going to shows and seeing Edna Manley pitting them back at every artist who is any artist there just always gives me a little squeeze. But my biggest term for me is my work in Jamaica Reggae Industry Association. I think over the years of documenting stalwarts in industry who've contributed, who some people, I hear the young people said that this year when they watched the Honor Awards, they didn't know about these people. And I'm happy that we were able to document and archive the works of people, producer, engineers, people who put on show for many years, and not just the artists in the forefront, and even some of the artists who are there who they've never heard of before. I'm happy I'm able to still play a role in ensuring that our children and generations to come will be able to access this information to learn about people who paved the way. So that for me is really my greatest triumph. I could say today's one, to be a part of I've been a part of a lot of February 6 events, but to be a part of special panel dedicated to a woman I grew up admiring, a woman who allows me to wear kaftan proudly, to wrap my head and look older and still feel beautiful. It is, it's a joke, Caroline. It is really, really a great triumph for me to be in this space. I'm smiling because I know that Nana is there watching, probably waving, smiling because we can't see you, but you've inspired me. You've inspired many young women, and that for me today is a triumph.
The triumph.
Yeah, no, I say, you know, all is a triumph, you know, I keep saying.
Yeah.
It's
No,
either,
Caroline,
it's
before you
either
come on,
die,
me head,
it's either you-
me did have on head wrap, you know,
Wait,
and I
no,
said to
wait,
Odessa,
no.
does this make me look old? And she said,
Wait,
yes.
no.
So I take it off.
I heard that.
Don't bother blame Odessa. You have to have
No, it
confidence
never
in
looked
your-
good, Auntie. I'm not going to
confidence
let
in
her
your
put
own
it on there.
aesthetics.
Auntie, it never
It's
looked good. She's got to show her beautiful face and her hair was hiding. No.
Let me tell you, they say, you
Look
know,
here.
it's either you grow old or you die young. So I think
When
growing old is
gets-
better than dying young.
Wine gets better with time, you know.
Listen, guys,
No.
me hate for cutting, but me have for cutting because I am a little bit annoyed with Sunshine because she tried to downplay herself. First of all, Sunshine walk up into RFM, which was Soto
Talk
man,
it.
mostly man, and go in there and be one force for which she turned one of the major players. Me like the name DJ Sunshine synonymous with reggae and dancehall music and playing out just like the man them. God
Talk
dance to play
it.
just
Talk
like
it.
the
Talk
Right.
so
it.
me no know
side
she
of
come in
them.
there with a little modesty. And that we are talking about, you know,
That's
we are
true.
talking about telling we story while we are live, while
Thank
we
you.
can get with flowers and people can see we and we there. And you fit talk out there clean mouth, girl, and something foolish.
I was a fling.
Thank you. I mean, Tanya, thank you. But the thing about it, you know, is that I wasn't aware of what I was doing. Just last week, I was taking over from Amber, and she says, when I came into the industry, you were the only woman that was doing what you were doing. The way your presence on air, the presence on the road, and I was also listening to you as well. And I was like, really? I did that? I just don't know. I was just doing what came to me naturally, you know? And maybe I
Yeah,
really need to
Sunshine.
sit down with it.
Sunshine,
What-
I
what-
remember, sorry, Sunshine, I remember when you said you were going to start DJing. And I
Yes.
looked at you like, huh? And this is years ago. Like I've
Yes,
known
yes,
I've
yes.
watched
It goes back.
Sunshine's
It goes back.
journey from when she was a model at Pulse. And not people don't know that until she said, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm passionate about. And the eclectic sounds of music that you have so much knowledge in it. And then watch you rise from just playing at little parties to going to IRFM. Your flowers will fling out, my girl. Your flowers will fling out.
Thank
because
you so much.
No,
Thank
because,
you.
I mean, even from the legal perspective, Sunshine, I've never met you before. But
Right.
as I say, I've been a part of the musical continuum, and you have been a part of that, because when it comes on to a song becoming a hit, you are
Yes.
synonymous to that. You know, everybody knows you have to get Sunshine to play a song. So, you know, Tanya is right.
Now you see what all of this illustrates, DJ Sunshine,
Yes.
is that, you know, when you say you are doing it naturally, but you are
Yes.
not conscious of what you are doing,
Right.
this is where now, as an industry, we need to start identifying what are the elements of success.
Best practices.
Yes, what are the best practices? Because these are things that can be taught. You
Yes.
said you were just doing it naturally, and
Right.
people have, you know, seen your impact and they have followed your example. But there must be some way to document this for you to sit down and reflect. Write something about the process of your transformation from DJ to major player in the industry. And it's
Yes.
important for all of these stories to be documented, because as you say, you never know what you were doing when you were doing
No.
it. But
No.
if somebody in an earlier generation had documented that process, you
Understood.
might be would have been able to recognize from early,
Yes.
but wait, you know, this is a part that I'm on, and
Right.
I'm gonna go through, and maybe you
Yes.
couldn't be any bigger than you are now. But
Well, you know, I mean, I
you
took
would
my
have
mother
been
money
able to
and
vision.
yeah. I mean, I took my mother money and I went to college and everything. I was studying architecture.
I know.
And I remember, I was on the dance floor I used to like to dance a lot. I was on the dance floor and I remember standing up in the middle of the dance floor and just looking at the DJ and I said, I want to do that.
Excellent.
and Divine Source just paved the way. And when I was offered the job here at Area FM, I knew nothing about radio. Couldn't speak on the radio. Even people will tell you today that they used to laugh at me when they hear me talking because I was trying to sound sexy. And it didn't come across it didn't come across really well. But like I said, it's important to document these so we can leave this legacy for others to be inspired by.
And that's something that I just wanted to interject. Something that I want to do and I'm passionate about is showcasing the legacy of basically my generation, because I don't think we get enough flowers. Your generation, Auntie, as well as my generation. And that's something that I'm doing when I do my podcast. I want to talk to people. I want people to get an in-depth conversation of who these people are. What makes DJ Sunshine tick? How is Tanya's thought process, or what kind of underwear she likes to wear? I just want people to kind of get into the personality. Yes, Tanya, the personality a little bit more, but we have to start documenting as our legacy. We all have, and we all are have a role to play in this business as women, as Black women, and we have to continue it. It's just so important.
I want to advocate for one thing, Prof, because one of the things I respect with academics is the dedication to, just focusing on one thing, getting the books out. And what I'd love is for more support. Like, I would love to just not work for 2 years and really, really do some documentation in the industry because I'm comfortable in this space. But getting support for those kinds of projects now become important. That I looked at Chase's, the Chase Fund, I looked at what was given to under culture, how much was given to one book on horse racing versus what was given to UWI for 5 books on culture. And I was amazed. So for me, sometimes we say we're a cultural super state. We say that it's the year of the creative now, UNESCO says. And we say a lot of things, and we always say a lot of things, but really and truly, we don't put the money where our mouth's at.
And we're just documenting them, but it doesn't have to just be books. There are content.
It doesn't have to be books, videos, but you need money for film. You need money for film. You need support. So what I'm advocating for is not necessarily just books. It's just whatever form that you are going to put this information or archival information, is that we need support. You need support for film.
How can we get Tanya's book, and what more can we do to get Rita's book out there so that more young women on the island can get a hold of this book and really read about her life and her legacy?
Well, I think the book exists, so it's now for media marketing people like you, Odessa, like Colleen, to see how you can make this thing now become a thing to do. Like you can have some kind of way of profiling books, because there's a generation of people now for whom book is a bad word, so they have no business with book, and I sympathize with them because they're children of the digital age. So we have to find a way now to turn the book on Tanya into podcasts, into short videos, that the content is there. The old people will read the book, and some of the, exceptional young people, but you have to package the information now in a way that will reach to them. Because there's no point as a quote unquote old person, me sitting down here and me a complain, say the people them don't want to read book. Well, they don't want to read the book, so you have to find another way. Simple as that. So I believe in videos. I do a lot of interviews. I take part in a lot of media because I know that is one way to get my ideas out that people may not listen if it's in a book. So
Tanya, may I go call you about your book?
Yes, you
Yeah.
have to find a
Well,
way.
We will do some work with
Yeah, so
advancing that
I mean,
conversation.
but I should make it clear though that it's not a book that Tanya has written. It's a book that a whole set of scholars have written about Tanya because they recognize that. I mean, if I give you some of the titles, collision of Rastafari and the erotic in the work of Tanya Stephens. Me can say that is a topic that enough people will, Another one, you can't hunger the ride. Tanya Stephens' critique of societal inefficiency. Now you have to go break that one down because societal inefficiency kind of sound a little high. This is a nice one now. It's a pity already of a wife. The possibilities and pitfalls of Tanya Stephens' civilized man sharing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a whole set of issues there, One of my favorite Tanya styles is taking back, Here, the woman take a man and she just can't take back your husband. Me don't want him now no use. And I think if a lot more women would tell the man them to go about them business and tell the wife to take him back, the glamour of being the other woman would evaporate, because I think sometimes women stay in relationships, whether it's wife or the other woman, long after the relationship have any use. But them too embarrassed to leave, them feel that them have to have a man. So, it's a half a loaf is better than none, but half a man is not better than none. I think no man better than half a man, But some people get stuck. Tanya, go ahead.
Prof, I want to just add though that as far as the frustrations of getting the books out there, we have to take some of the responsibility. Because in the case of mine, these women I think it was really great of them to focus on my work and to advance my work.
A man was in it too. A man in it
today, me don't even know. All right, me take the responsibility for that because I could be more involved. I could help to push it more. I shared it when they tagged me and stuff, but I could have been way more involved in propagating just the image of it, the knowledge that it is out. Enough people don't know.
Yes,
and I'm very active on social media, so I can do too. So Colleen and others, as far as the promotion of things, sometimes we can't just sit down and say, people were in a media need to share this more, but we were actually involved in the making of the product.
Well, you've got my podcast. You've got my podcast. So I've been asking you this from 2 years now. So the podcast is one, Daytime Live is the next. I have outlets in media that I can support. Yeah, man, we're going to get the rum. We're going to sit down and we're going to... Right.
And we need to all share it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Tanya, tell me about the book.
Yeah.
Me take every blame. Me take the responsibility. Like sometimes when the product doesn't go, it's not because radio, and I hope a lot of artists are going to see this. It's not always because radio don't like you, and not always because media don't like you. Sometimes are you. Sometimes are you. If you turn up on time for interview, turn up at all, or take none. I am one very antisocial artist. And I take full responsibility for it. A lot of people say, boy, Tanya, should I get this and should I get that? Tanya, tell us that she want that. When you look at other artists and you compare and say, how that the artist reaches, so Tanya never want to do none of them something. Like, I didn't want to give up my space, my life. There are many things I didn't want to sacrifice. So many places I haven't gone to, I've never wanted to go there. So, always about media not wanting. I know because DJ Sunshine never play a song, make a name, but some of the time are we. Like, you never turn up. You never put out the extra effort. 1,000,001 people are singing the same song,
Right.
But what you do to make people actually see say you exist. So are we with the books and with the documenting that are the first part, but how we're gonna make people even know say it exists? We still have to do the work. We have to do the work.
A lot of people don't even know about Sister Rita's autobiography. And it's
still available on Amazon.
It was a young male student who stopped me on campus several years ago and said, "Miss, you read Mr. Marley book?" So I said, "No, I don't read it yet." Him said, "Miss, it's good. It's a young male student." And, fortunately, a little bit after that, the book, you know, they asked me to speak at the launch and, you know, to be part of the launch. And when I read the book, I said, and then I gave it to my housekeeper to read. And you know, when she read it, you know what she said? If she can make it, me can make it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? So she read it. If she can make it, me can make it.
The
So you see
beauty
the
of it now, Prof.
inspiration. Yeah.
The beauty of it now is that those people who don't want to travel with those heavy books
See,
anymore, because you don't have anywhere to store them, you can get it digitally. So I have it on my phone and I've read it on my phone.
Yes.
Oh no,
Yes.
Mr.
I just want to,
If she can make it, me can make it. That's a wonderful statement.
Oh, by the
Social
way, we
media,
time
what
now
you have
up
for
for
us,
the
Professor?
so we're gonna have to close it out very soon, but I have a social media user. Her name is Jessie Nix from YouTube, and she just wants to say to Auntie Rita, Sister Rita, you are the epitome of a true beautiful warrior, queen. Give thanks for all what you're doing and have done and continue to do. More blessings, happy Earth Strong. And I just want to say in closing as well, guys, we want to big up to all the viewers, everybody that's been watching on Tough Gong Television, the YouTube channel, Bob Marley Facebook page, Bob Marley Museum Facebook page, and listening on IRI FM as well.
Yes, and I just want to add my thanks to Tanya, DJ Sunshine, Colleen, and Tova for all of the wonderful insights you have brought to this conversation. I think all of us can agree that it was lively, informative, and I really hope that we'll keep having these kinds of platforms for conversations. And I'm going to give you each one quick second to just say goodbye. Tova?
Well, it was wonderful. I'm happy to have been a part of this. And I look forward to more of these kinds of conversations. And Colleen, ready, you know, when we want to have, you know, the collaboration, I am here. Tanya, I am going to buy your book. And I implore everybody go out and buy the book and buy Rita Marley's book as well.
Absolutely. DJ Sunshine?
Boy, I keep saying this. I just feel so good. I just feel so honored and blessed to have been part of this conversation, part of the, you know, Rita Marley's 75th celebration. I tell you, I've learned so much, and I've been knocking on all of your doors. I've been coming to see you guys, and we have a lot of work to do. And just right here is a very strong team to document what we have done so far to inspire and help others, you know. So I feel so grateful to be here today. Thank you so much, and thanks to everybody that listened and participated.
Colleen?
I just want to say it has been an absolute pleasure with all of you ladies. You're all people I love. I want to say, Nana Rita, you've been an inspiration. Continue to inspire. Continue to bring joy to your family and those who know you as fans. I think this is an opportunity for us to celebrate who Nana Rita is, and in celebrating who she is, elevate all the women in music in the world as she has been doing all her life.
Excellent. And Tanya?
Yeah, man, I want to ditto everything what everybody else say, and add to that, big up yourself, Rita Goodas. You don't know how we celebrate you.
Yeah.
Real good girl. Yeah, we celebrate
man.
you. I love you. I love you, you know. I'm like everything we stand for, and you give me enough to emulate, and I will do my best.
Love you.
Yeah, man, pick up all of the good parts and just run with it. Bless up yourself. Enough love.
Thank
75
you.
more.
Yeah.
And I just like to say thank you guys for having me. Thank you, Nana Rita. Thank you, Auntie Rita. You're an inspiration. The panel, I love every one of you, and I just adore you all. I just met Tovia properly, so we're going to link, and definitely we've got to keep what we spoke about moving in terms of the books, in terms of spreading and sharing information on Sister Rita's legacy, as well as dashing out them flowers and honing our own stories and keeping our legacies alive.
And my last word is to you, Sister Rita. Enough love, enough respect. We're proud of you. I am so glad that the University of the West Indies at Mona, Jamaica honored you with an honorary doctorate, showing you just how much we value you and your legacy. So big up, big up, big up, and go on strong. We want to see you keep trotting through creation. Enough love.
Thanks.
Again, thank you guys. Thank you for all the sponsors. And yeah, we're out.
Thank you. See you.
Bye-bye.
All right, take